𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 Ministries has always been pro-life. We have helped start pregnancy centers, supported pro-life organizations, and actively spoken against abortion every January on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. But what about those who have already had an abortion? Does God's forgiveness, grace, and healing extend toward them? While interviewing Yvonne Smith about her healing journey from breast cancer and multiple myeloma, Yvonne shared with us from her backyard porch how for decades she struggled with guilt and shame from an abortion she had as a teenager, until one day she heard Andrew's teachings. This is a story about how God's love and grace helped one woman from Fort Worth, Texas forgive herself while showing her a sneak peek of who is waiting for her in heaven. This is the Grace Encounter of Yvonne Smith. Yvonne was raped by a family member at the age of 4. This one event set her on the self-destructive path of looking for love and acceptance in all the wrong places.
I started dating Chris. I was just getting ready to turn 13. He was raised by an alcoholic father and a mother that left. And so you put these two kids together and, you know, it's a recipe for what soon followed. It was probably about 6 months and I was pregnant. Chris's mom said, "You're 13, he's 15 years old. We suggest having an abortion." My mom came in and she said, "Absolutely not. We are Catholic. We do not believe in abortion." She said, "Our whole entire life is going to be hell right now when your father finds this out. But we're going to live with that because you're not going to kill that baby."
Guilted by religion, Yvonne kept her pregnancy and at the age of 13 gave birth to her first daughter, Kristen. Wanting independence from their family, Yvonne and Chris got a place of their own. The couple spent their days so high and intoxicated that years later, Yvonne didn't realize she was pregnant again until she was nearly into her 3rd trimester. And without the influence of her mother, this time Yvonne decided to terminate the pregnancy.
And so I remember driving there, and there's all these people lined up on the walkway, and they're holding up pictures of slaughtered babies. I remember this woman standing right in front of me and going, "You don't want to be a murderer. You don't want to be a murderer." And that's like ringing. Then they call me and I go back there and they're like, "We're not really sure how far along you are, so we're gonna do an ultrasound first." I see her on there and she's moving all around and they're like, "Oh, it's a little girl. Because of the birth control and because of the street drugs that you've used, these are all the things that are going to be wrong with her." And I told Chris, I said, "It's a girl." And this is everything that they said is going to be wrong with her. And he said, "We're not even good parents to the child we already have. We can't have a handicapped baby." We went into this room, which would have seemed like a delivery room. It was freezing. It was absolutely the worst, most painful feeling I ever felt. A part of me was being ripped out of me. And I'm holding onto the side and I'm shaking and I am so cold and nobody's there. I remember just thinking, is it ever going to be normal?
This one decision, made at the age of 19, haunted Yvonne for decades. Though she would eventually give her life to Jesus and raise 3 children with Chris, Yvonne constantly felt condemned over the abortion, a guilt made only worse when she later suffered 2 miscarriages. Though God had delivered her from drugs and saved her marriage, it would take a new revelation on her identity in Christ to be free from self-condemnation, a revelation that she would receive through Andrew's teaching, Spirit, Soul, and Body.
I still had a fear that I was going to go to hell if I wasn't good enough. It was that teaching that was the key that unlocked my true freedom. Then I find out Andrew's got free teachings. I mean, who does that? Free teachings? Everything he's got is free?
When you get born again, you get a brand new spirit. And God is looking at you and relating to you based on who you are in the spirit, not based on your performance.
From the revelation that Jesus' one sacrifice paid for all of her sins, including her abortion, God was able to heal Yvonne of decades worth of shame, guilt, and condemnation, and she began flowing in the gifts of the Spirit. One day, while spending time in prayer, God gave her a vision of the children she lost during the abortion, as well as from 2 miscarriages.
I'm wide awake, and I'm now on the side of a mountain. I see this girl, and she knows who I am, and I know who she is. There was no guilt. There was no condemnation. I felt nothing from her that said, like, why did you not want me? Why did you abort me? Nothing. There was like this amazing sense of acceptance, of love. The next thing that I saw was me on the side of that mountain with 6 children. The only thing I can compare it to is like that scene in The Sound of Music where they're running down the hill and it's just like this free moment, but it's so much freer. And I knew that God wanted me to let people know He's not holding your past behind you. The future that you think you left in your past, He's holding it right there. And someday, we'll all be together, never again to part.
Today, Yvonne and Chris are happily married, and the couple watch Andrew's Gospel Truth program on a regular basis. When she's not busy running a real estate company, Yvonne shares her revelation of God's unconditional love and grace with women who have also suffered shame from past mistakes. You can follow her ministry at vinelifeministry.org. To our friends and partners, we say thank you. Because of your support, one woman from Fort Worth, Texas, was able to receive God's love, grace, and forgiveness from her past, to now go out and help others with their future. Thank you.